Good morning. Good morning. How you doing? I am so excited this morning. Why? Because I get to talk about my favorite topic this morning. Still following the topic of breaking the programming and releasing the lie. We're going to talk about what is self-love. Those of you that have been on my Facebook know that I have been seeing and been talking a little bit about this whole relationship stuff that I'm seeing, especially in the Black community, but this whole relationship stuff I'm seeing overall. And I want to talk a little bit about that. And this is what's leading to my self love piece. Because actually, I believe this is why we're having a problem with the self love piece. This right here. So, I don't know if many of you know, there are a lot of videos out there of people, men and women, reaction videos to what women are doing. I've seen a lot of what women are doing negatively. And there are a lot of videos to what men are not doing, bashing men, bashing women. I don't want to see any of it. The bad part about YouTube for me is that when you look at something, goes in the algorithm and that's all they show you. I don't want to see all that negative. Okay. But I will say this. I didn't know it was so bad. I really didn't know that the dating game, not only the dating game was so bad, the advice being given is so bad. And telling you to play games and change because of how a man thinks, how a woman thinks, right? And I'm going to get to kind of the responsibility because both sexes are responsible for this. I want them to understand both sexes are responsible for this and need to take responsibility for this. Now I'll explain why. Um, and in seeing all this, I'm like, there's no self-love anywhere. Anywhere. Now, like these videos, I'm seeing the men raising up, right? And getting in touch with their emotions, and that's great. Getting in touch with what they won't put up with, and that's great. That is wonderful. But I also don't appreciate them bashing the modern woman. The modern woman is being stereotypical, and that's not accurate either. I am a modern woman, but I have some very traditional values, but I'm not submissive, nor will I ever be. So, but I don't act like a lot of these other females do because I love myself and I have value and I know how to give value. Now, true, I'm middle-aged, but I'm like, these people ain't loving themselves. If they love themselves, they wouldn't be acting like that, men and women. So we're going to get into what self-love is and how it relates to this and how this is breaking down this dynamic of relationships. So, one, self-love, in my opinion, is loving yourself authentically. That's a couple of things. One, loving yourself where you are at right now. We all have flaws. We all have things that we need to work on. We all have things that we need to fix within ourselves, right? Everybody has that. Nothing wrong with that. But you can't be loving yourself at a later date. Oh, I love myself when, boom, boom, boom. No, you're to love yourself right now. What you look like right now. I didn't say you had to like what you look like, but you do have to love you. Love you. Okay? That doesn't mean if you love you, you won't fix what you don't like. But you got to be real. That means if you walk around with a stanky attitude, and that's your attitude, that's what you grew up with, that's your attitude. Don't lie. That's how you are. If you're selfish, if you're narcissistic, if you love your ego, and this is how it is, and you shaking that head, and this is how it is, this is how it's going to be, okay, then understand. People ain't got to take that. And that's what you decided. You dealing with the law of consequences. What you do, you got to deal with the consequences. Period. It's not good or bad. That's just the law of consequences. That's how it's going to be. So be authentically you. You don't have to apologize for being you and what you do, because other people may be offended. They may not like it. Family may not like it. You don't have to apologize if that's honestly you. Okay? You don't even have to apologize if it's honestly not you. You're trying to figure it out. They may know, but you're the one that has to know who you are, not them. You can listen. You can take the advice. Not all advice is meant for us either. But you're the one that has to know. So you have to love yourself right now where you are, not who you are at a later date. I didn't say that you couldn't evolve. I just said you need to love yourself where you are right now. When you do, you're going to find you're not going to like everything that you're presenting to the world. Notice I said presenting to the world. Okay? 2, self-love encompasses self-respect. Now let's get into that. A lot of times we'll walk around, especially some of my people, and we'll wear stuff we shouldn't be wearing. We'll be doing stuff we shouldn't be doing. The number one thing I hear, especially among teenagers, you don't like it, so what? Oh, well, that's what I'm doing. And then they go around laughing, right? Or, what's wrong with what I'm wearing? It's cute, but you know it's not. You know it's not. You put it on because you wanted a compliment when you know it ain't cute. You know it shows stuff don't nobody want to see. When you know you putting on stuff that's soliciting. You know what that means. When you want that attention because you want that confidence, but that's fake confidence. That's fake self-esteem. And we're going to get to that in a minute because that's number 3. Self-love is real self-respect. Okay? That's about you. Now, some of the stuff y'all wear is very disrespectful for us to look at, but we ain't got to look at you. So I ain't even worried about that. I'm more worried about the stuff that you doing twerking out on the street, putting on half-naked clothes. We can see everything. No type of mystery. The things you saying to people that's rude as hell, disrespectful, and you sound ignorant. You look ignorant. But the thing is, no type of respect for yourself. And the thing is, that's what people see. But you want top shelf people around you and building you up, and you ain't top shelf. You're not presenting top shelf, so you don't deserve top shelf at that time. No. You get what you put out. That's Newton's third law. To every action, there is a greater or equal reaction. You thought that was just science. No, that's life too. You put it out, that's what you get back. Greater or equal. You put out ratchet, you get back ratchet. You may have snagged somebody rich. What was the price? What are you giving up for that? What are you selling for that? There's a price. Self-respect, real self-respect, is you being able to look in that mirror and respect who you are. You being able to look in your eyes and be constant and tell yourself, I love you. Okay? 3, real self-esteem. Now, we're going to get to this fake shit to be people putting on. I put on weave. I put on nails. I put on lashes. But I draw the line there, pretty much. I don't put on fake eyes unless I'm doing a show and singing, right? I don't do that because for me, I don't understand how you can put all that fake ass shit on and say you want a real somebody. Now, it's different if you put all that fake ass shit on and you have an ailment and you want to present yourself to society so people are not scared, because people be ignorant and don't know how to take people that look different or have different disabilities. I know, I get that. I know. It's also different when you put the stuff on to build your confidence and your self-esteem. Honestly, so you feel sexy or cute to yourself. Okay? That's different because you're honestly trying to get an image of you like. But you're not being hateful toward other people. You're not being fake toward other people. You're still being you. That's different. That's different than the ones that put that fake ass shit on, but expecting someone to compliment them on this fake ass shit. It's fake. And you're fake. You ain't even real. And the love for yourself ain't real. So how you supposed to love someone else for real? And how is someone supposed to love you for real? Who are you? That's the question that's going on with these relationships. Who are you? This is for men and for women. Who are you? Why are you presenting as fake? If someone can't love you for real, for your real, you don't need them. I don't care how good they look. Excuse me. I don't care how they swinging. So if it ain't here and it ain't here, you can move. Go on. Especially if you ain't here. Go on. You ain't got caliber if you ain't here for me. Go on. Bye. So you got to have real self-esteem. Build your self-esteem to build that confidence, that real confidence. I don't care what you put on to build that real confidence. Okay. Just don't be fake when you put that shit on and you present like you $1,000,000 and you spent $1,000,000 on a $5 doll walking around and you only worth $5. You did. And then you expect him or her or them to spend that type of money to keep up that $5 doll. No, boo-boo. That's your job. That's your facade. That's not their facade. Now, likewise, your partners or the partners, if you want that fake, don't complain about wanting that fake. Don't complain about getting that fake. And this is what the part I was talking about in the beginning. Many of you have, and this is a lot of men, okay? Many of you have created and built the persona of how you want these women to look, no matter what they got to do to look that way. Then y'all came out with, we want a real woman. Hold on. A lot of y'all didn't come out like that. A lot of y'all didn't. A lot of y'all came out, you got to have this, you got to have the hair, you got to have the lashes, you got to have the shape, you got to walk this way, you got to have these clothes, you got to wear these heels. And the women followed suit and they did that. See, I don't do what I'm told to do. So I don't. I do what I want to do, what Divine want to do. Because if you can't love me for me in my brain, bye. So these women followed suit, or, however they didn't identify, followed suit. They did what you asked. Now that the attitude has followed the look, it's a problem. And y'all returning back to home base. Y'all returning back to conservative. Hold on. No, you better take responsibility for y'all sitting up there. Some of y'all sitting up there saying that picture you wanted. Oh, you didn't think you were going to get that attitude for all that fake ass shit? I did. I saw that train wreck coming. I'm just saying. You should have asked real from the gate. You shouldn't have asked for supermodel. You got supermodel. Now you got the supermodel attitude and y'all are pissed off. How could she be like that? How could she got attitude like that? You asked them to be fake. You didn't ask them to look real. Then don't ask them to be fake. And you asked them at a time when half of y'all weren't presenting anything. You just thought what you were swinging with was going to be good enough. And then you had the money. So you weren't being real with yourself and you weren't loving yourself. And that's an example of low self-esteem, not real self-esteem. That's an example of fake. And fake built on fake produces fake. And that foundation is going to break. And that's why a lot of relationships and things like that built on that foundation broke. Because it was fake to begin with. Okay? Let's keep it real where a lot of this came from. Let's keep it real. And one of the reasons why people can't get to why it came from where it came from is because they don't want to admit the truth that they played into it. Both sides did. Men say they wanted a Barbie doll. Women played into it. Women said that they wanted a higher class man. And they're paying the price for doing that because there's a sacrifice for doing that. Sacrifice of self for doing that, right? But then they don't even know who they are. Some of them. Not all, some of them. And some do, because that's what they want. And that's perfectly fine. That's for them. I don't bash nobody for wanting what you want. That is you, boo-boo. That ain't me. That's you. And that's all it needs to be is you. But don't lie. I don't need either side lying. And that's the problem that's going on in relationships is people lying. Now, people are in reaction mode. Well, I didn't want it anyway. I'm going over here. Well, I didn't want you anyway. I'm going over here. For real? Why don't you just man up, woman up, them up, and accept what you did? Accept the fake you brought in. Why don't you do that and then hit the restart button and start getting real? Then decide, you know what? I don't like your real. I don't like your real. Let's peacefully leave that because we didn't come in real. Or decide, you know what? We're going to be real with this. Show me your real. I'll show you my real. And let's see if we can make this work. What does your real look like? Let's have that conversation. Y'all can't do that? Y'all can't have adult conversations without going crazy? Or now there's this being right. When someone is doing X, Y, and Z, gone. You ain't got time to waste. Which a lot of people are doing now. You ain't got time to waste. But sitting up making fun of is not teaching anybody. Sitting up bashing is not teaching anybody how to change. I have seen too many YouTubes of men sitting up trying to tell women how to be a woman. You can't tell me how to be a woman. You don't know. You don't have not only my piping, but you don't have that spiritual piece of being a woman. You don't know what it is to be spirit of woman. So you can't tell me what it is. Like I can't tell you what it is to be a man. I can't. I can only tell you what I see, what I perceive. Right? What I'm seeing y'all do. That's it. But you can't tell me how to be a woman. So don't. You can tell me what y'all don't like. And I can accept that or not accept that. That's my choice. But we don't need to be telling each other how to be. That's not our job. What it comes down to is per individual person. And if we're choosing the wrong people, that's because those are qualities, one, we have in here that we don't like. Two, that's because there's people in our life that influenced us that had qualities we didn't like. And those are the people we chose because we were used to those qualities. We didn't know how to shake that off and push that to the side to do something positive. Instead of we kept choosing something negative. And the negative is what we were used to. We were sitting in until we got tired. Now we don't know what to do. Why? Because we don't love us. We don't love ourselves. To be able to recognize the pattern of what we don't want. Then we choose what we don't want. And we're like, why would I choose somebody like that? But we didn't know. We didn't know. But we sense because it's familiar. That's why we choose what we don't like. It's familiar to us. We're familiar to that feeling. We know how to deal with that. Okay, that's a programming issue. All right, next, self-worth. Ooh. One thing, the one book Joy Luck Club. If you ain't read that book, read that book. It talks about self-worth. It does. That is a prime example of self-worth. Self-love is knowing what your worth is. And let me explain something to you. Your worth has no dollar amount. So if you're walking around giving your worth a dollar amount, there's something wrong. Something wrong. No. What are you worth? Are you presenting what you're worth? Are you showing the world what you're worth? That's a big question. So this is part one. We gonna reserve the next part for part two, because we gonna dig into this. All right, y'all. Have a wonderful day. Take care.